At the moment, depression is the fourth worst cause of disability in the world according to the WHO, the World Health Organization. By 2020 it will be the second biggest cause. By 2030 it will be the first biggest cause.
Like a tunnel that never ends, into the black where there is no light, just darkness extending forever. Depression is an ink stain that will cover every last piece of the white blotting paper, blotting out hope, blotting out the light. I didn't know what was wrong with my father, but it worried me.
Amar! Amar! Where are you? I need to go for a walk right now.
He wouldn't sleep, and he asked me to walk with him, so we'd pace the streets in the dead of night. He did nothing all day, just watch television, and he wouldn't eat.
Depression is a very disabling condition. It's characterised mainly by emotional distress, usually very severe feelings of sadness, not just ordinary sadness following a bereavement, for example, or adverse life event, but persistent feelings of sadness over a long period of time.
Depression affects all the family. Even my little nephew suffered.
What's this, Sohan? What's happening with you?
Poor Sohan didn't understand what was happening, and my father had no idea that he was the cause of his grandson's failing grades.
Dad, what was that?
I kept asking him to tell me what was wrong, but he wouldn't talk about it. He retreated more and more into himself, like a man who'd lost all purpose.
Depression doesn't only affect the individual who's suffering from the condition, but it also affects people around that individual, in particular the family.
I'm so worried about Suhan. He's always been so good at school, but lately he's just not working.
Or maybe he's worried about Dad? I mean, what's wrong with him?
What, you mean your father?
Yeah, he's not himself.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. He's not himself.
Is he depressed?
Oh, please. Let's not talk about that. He's just got a lot on his mind.
Can we not get him some help?
Where can we get some help? He won't go and see a doctor, and there's no one we can talk to.
Although there's plenty of help available in depression, many people don't really know where to look for it.
Yep, I definitely agree. Depression is in fact an illness, and a lot of the times people forget about this. And even though it's a mental illness, a lot of the symptoms are actually physical, such as a lack of sleep, a lack of appetite.
But the good thing is, the younger generation are talking about depression, but the older generation, there's still a taboo attached to it. Why do you think that's the case, Parley?
And I think that is because our parents' generation, they have this like different work ethic to us. Many of them came to the UK to better their lives and work themselves up, whereas we've obviously seen life from a different angle. And because of that, the whole hard work ethic, they see depression as a form of weakness, as something that, you know, makes you weaker if you have the symptoms of depression.
Then does Asian culture ignore or deny depression, or does it sort of suggest it's a fantasy illness?
I definitely agree with you. I think it does suggest it's a fantasy illness, although South Asian culture in its ancient form talks about depression a lot and mentions it quite deeply. So it's interesting to see that now, as a modern form of Asian culture, we're like almost embarrassed to talk about it, and we're like, it's something we're afraid to talk about, when really it's something we should just openly talk about.
Now, Amar's character is a main character in this video, and he sort of doesn't know what his responsibility should be towards his father.
Yeah, and you can see that he's in a really difficult position. He's got to wake up with his father in the middle of the night and, you know, take him for a walk. And obviously this is having an effect on his health too, and we're beginning to see symptoms of anxiety, you know, develop in Amar as he like deals with his father, who's of course depressed.
Millions of people across the world suffer from depression, many without hope or help, and we feel that working with the local community and local authorities, they can seek the right help, because it is an illness and it's real.
I definitely agree, and I think that a lot of the times people confuse depression for just being sad, when really sadness is just one of the many symptoms of depression. In fact, someone can be depressed and not even feel sad at all. They feel something called anhedonia, which is basically you lose gaining pleasure from doing your favorite activities. You could have a dancer or an actor who looks and sounds extremely happy, but inside they no longer enjoy doing what they usually enjoy.
If you're watching this video and you're suffering from depression or know someone who is, or unsure about it, then get in contact with one of the charities highlighted in the video or in the description below.
Good idea. And we just wanted to say that, you know, we're not professionals and we're not doctors either, but we just think that more needs to be done about this subject, and we should be able to talk about this openly.
Let's remind ourselves we can be there for someone, whether it's a friend or a family member who you feel might need you.
Definitely. We want to bring this illness to light in our community and make it something that we are no longer ashamed of.
I'm Atika Chowdhury.
I'm Parley Patel, and thanks for watching, guys.